wanted to just clarify, address, whatever. We have chosen not to appeal the Brad Evans red card. The reason for that is that although we always support our players, and that's always our preference, what matters in situations like this is not what we believe, but what we can prove. So to give you guys a little background on the process, this review of a red card is not done by the disciplinary committee, but rather a separate independent committee of 3 referees. So then you have to prove to this committee of referees that their colleague made a serious and obvious error, and that's the legal standard: serious and obvious error. So, and as to provide some more color, that means if you showed the video clip to 100 people, 100 people would say this is a clear and obvious, that word obvious is in there too, error. And in our conversations internally and with folks around the league, we didn't feel like we were able to meet that standard, and therefore we chose not to appeal. So to be clear, Evans is charged with violent conduct and attempting to strike an opponent. I think you can parse that and say he wasn't technically attempting to strike Edgar. They're in very, very close proximity, but again, when you have a head movement like that, it's pretty quick and pretty unexpected. I think it's hard to reach the standard of serious and obvious error by the referee, that he couldn't possibly have construed that as something in the direction of Edgar when those guys are so close like that. So that's the Evans stuff. Any questions on that one? Or
yeah, Garth, I got one. Since
Yep.
we have power in the room, can you talk about the turnaround of the team? And,
Sure. I like talking about that. That's a lot more fun than red cards. The team's been awesome, man, and Brian has done a great job, and he's the idea of empowering the team and making this their team, and getting the guys collectively together and in line to try to make the playoffs. And I'd also stress we haven't accomplished that goal yet, but we've obviously put ourselves in a position to do so, and if we can get over that hump, that'd be a real accomplishment considering where we were. But even then, again, I'll stress that making the playoffs is not the goal of this organization. The goal of this organization is to compete for championships and to win titles, and that is what we want to do. If we're able to make the playoffs, then is to say, hey, can we get a home game in the wild card game? And if we can do that, I think that helps us in terms of our playoff push. But look, if we're not able to do it, we'll get in however we can get in, and once you're in the dance, everybody's got a chance. So we're going to do our best to try to win this thing, and it starts with trying to beat Houston, and you got to win those little battles before you can worry about. GMs get the luxury of worrying about these larger strategic goals. We got to win. We got to beat Houston, and it ain't going to be easy because they've been playing much better lately. Two other things, just real quick clarifications, and I'll open the floor again. With Ladero and Morris, Morris it's up to U.S. Soccer as to whether or not he's released or not. They've been very respectful with us with the Dempsey process, and I want to make sure that we are returning the favor to them. And it'll be up to them if Jordan is released or not. Obviously, we hope that he is, but that's something that is ultimately U.S. Soccer's decision. They have the right to bring him in for those games, and it'll ultimately be up to them. And with respect to Ladero, again, he has to physically get from Barranquilla, Colombia to Seattle, and look, you can go online and you can construct a flight itinerary that will accomplish that fact. That doesn't mean that it's a good idea for Nico, depending on how he plays and how he feels, and it doesn't mean it's necessarily a good idea for our team, because again, the thing that I think we've gotten right is that we're in this together as a group, and I think that the result in Vancouver showed we can win with any articulation of that group, any change. And again, you want to have your best players around, of course, but we got to do this from a common sense approach, and not put our players in danger, and likewise give our group the best chance, where we're not just willy-nilly trying to get guys in here so we can play a couple of minutes in a game.